there is so many grants and sometimes I call them like scholarships to retrain people, to help educate them. The Chamber has so many resources to help support not only the business owners, but the business owners' employees.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of In the Den. Today I am joined by Jude and Rick from the Lower Bucks Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes. Well, I'm going to age myself a little bit, so I definitely am fully aware of the Lower Bucks Chamber of Commerce. But for those who are under the age of 40, can you tell us a little bit about what the Chamber is and then your two roles within there?
Shoot.
Okay. What the Chamber of Commerce is, it's a business organization, and we teach people to network who don't know how to network. It's all about building relationships and making connections. We're like a business matchmaker, and we connect you to other businesses to help your business grow.
Okay, and Jude, what is your role specifically?
My role is I am Director of Events and Membership. My role is to reach out in the community and in the business community, get people to join our chamber, build relationships, and also work with our committees and our board of directors to create events for those business people so they can meet.
Okay, and Rick, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm actually the incoming chair of the board. So I'm kind of a volunteer position. I'm a small business owner with my wife. We co-own a AAA office, and kind of worked my way through the ranks, which we'll get to, I'm sure, eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're on the board. It sounds so fancy, right?
I know. Yeah, if you told me 4 years ago, I would have been like, what's the board?
And everybody
which
thinks,
is cool.
It's just gravy. I'm just sitting around a table giving my vote, yes or no.
Right.
It's a lot of work, right?
It's a lot of work.
On both sides.
Yes.
So speaking of a lot of work, you guys have 3 pillars that you really live and breathe by. Can you explain to our audience a little bit about those 3 pillars and what they mean?
Yeah, sure. So the pillars are education, advocacy, and networking. And basically, there's, the networking piece, I think, is what people think of when they think of a chamber. That's the first reaction you get, connecting people, business card exchanges. They think that piece of it. But there's education. There's, tons of different resources within the chamber, the programs that we provide. And then the advocacy piece is just the community outreach, and then the governmental piece of that, which would be, there's a Keystone Saves Coalition that's been presented to us. It would be taken to the board, and then there'd be a vote on that. So there's, a voice for the membership through the chamber.
Okay. Yeah. And I was just about to ask about some of this stuff in related to government policies, bills, and things like that. Because when you do think of a Chamber of Commerce, and even our employees here most of the time, they think about that networking, the business card exchanges, the quick breakfasts in the morning, and it's really exciting and fun when you first get in there, and then over time you start to know everybody, and you kind of pretty well much exchanged just about everything you can. So the education piece that you offer is crucial, and it's a big help to business owners, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But tell me a little bit more about the active stance that you're taking within the community, particularly on government policies. And then, like you said, you talked about the Keystone. So give us some insight there. Yeah,
so the Keystone State Coalition was just presented to us, presented to the government committee, which I'll get to the committees in a second, but it's one of the committees that we have at the chamber. I think they meet the
first Thursday of the month.
First Thursday of the month.
Okay.
They meet first Thursday of the month. But it was presented to the government committee, and it's basically, from my little bit of knowledge of it, it's a bill that would help small businesses offer retirement plans through the state.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but basically, it's something that it was brought to us to the chamber to say, is this something you would support through your businesses? And we take that, we look at that, and then, we either support it or say, not right now. But
all right, so I just want to make sure that me and the audience are kind of understanding exactly how you guys are able to help. So you have this government, bill or government policy that they're looking to potentially implement or, take action on. You guys are able to have a conversation and say within the chamber, this will help, this won't help, and provide feedback that helps in getting bills passed or getting those policies through. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So how it would affect our businesses in our community, we would listen to the business owners' voices, we would listen to our membership, and based on that feedback, we would agree or disagree or support or just, not support the bill.
Okay. So as a business owner, I get an opportunity to have a voice that I wouldn't necessarily have by, I can't go, into the government building and say, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I love this. So it gives them an opportunity to have a say that they know is going to be taken to the right individuals.
Exactly. I mean, and I can tell you from firsthand experience with the government committee, pre the chamber, I've been there part of the chamber for about 4 years now, and I had very minimal knowledge of anything government related. And since, with the state of the counties, with the different keynote speakers that we have, you have
you've been educated.
What's the word I'm trying to think of? But you have the opportunity and the experience to see these people, to get this information. And there's the chambers where you learn what information you can get, basically.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah. And, I'm glad that you guys are here to really talk about it, because I think that, and we're about to talk about the networking piece, because it's huge, it's big, and it pays a lot of benefits, but there's so much more to the chamber. So for the audience out there, if you feel like you don't have a voice and you don't have a say, or you don't know what's going on, or you don't have your pulse on things that are happening, this is an opportunity for you to come out and be with other business owners and actually put your voice in there, have a say, understand what's going on and how it can affect you, the community, and your business. So that's great. Prior to the show, we were talking a little bit about networking and how it's benefited us, right? So some of your keynote speakers and things like that, you were saying, had come from hearing them on the podcast or conversations that we've had. So tell us a little bit about the different types of networking events that you have set up, and then maybe a couple of successful stories or one particular story that you might be able to share on where the chamber has been able to help facilitate something for a business.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when you join the Chamber of Commerce, you get 2 free networking events a month. One is the keynote breakfast, which is always the second Thursday of the month in the morning. And we have our business card exchange. And at both events, there's an opportunity to network and build relationships. Our chamber is about getting to know people, working the room, building those relationships. It's not about nailing the sale and just flipping your card to somebody. People, it's old school. People do business with who they know, they like, and they trust. And they got to get to know you and got to get to like you and trust you to want to do business with you. So the chamber provides these events for them. We also do we have different committees for people to get involved in. Like we had told you about the keynote committee to help our chamber members get together on certain committees to decide what speakers they're going to be. We have our young professionals committee that to decide what type of events that they're going to have. And the one thing there is with our young professionals, they're the succession plan of the chamber. Those are our future business leaders. So we provide the vehicle, the learning tools. We even have a leadership program, and you don't have to be a young professional to be in that. Leadership is good. Say you'd been a stay-at-home mom and been out of the workplace for a few years. You can come back in and work on your skills for that. It could be somebody that you're looking for to put on your leadership team, but you feel that they're a little green, they've got a lot of potential. You can send them through the Chamber's leadership program as well. We also have a very active Women in Business Committee. We do a Women in Leadership Conference. What am I forgetting, Rick? As I'm going through there with all the different committees.
I think you had a lot of them.
Okay, great.
Well, I think one thing that, and you touched on it a little bit when you were talking about, exchanging business cards and building that trust and getting to know people. But I know firsthand another part or benefit of building those relationships is that you have a built-in referral base, right? So as you're involved with the chamber and they're involved in other committees and they're involved in other things, they can become a mouthpiece for you, because now they know you, they trust you, and they believe in you. So when someone says, hey, I need a digital marketing agency, or hey, I need a training program, or whatever it may be, now you have this built-in, referral base from people just by going to those breakfasts, just by being a part, of a committee. And that's a huge benefit.
Oh, definitely. I can't tell you how many times people text me day and night, and I'm sure you get this, Rick, too. Somebody's like, all right, Jude, I need somebody to help me with my website, or I need a plumber, I need an electrician.
Right.
And we go through the directory with them and point it out. We have a lot of great online tools for our chamber members. We have a digital directory which goes by categories. Also, we share a really cool tool with our directory that's for our new members. Rick and I always like to show this. We say, oh, you went to an event, you met a guy named Rick, you can't remember his last name or what company. So you just go to our website, you rep, and then you type in, and then all the Ricks come up. Yeah. And you could, it's just a really cool way.
I actually just did that. I was in an event not too long ago, and I spent like 45 minutes talking to someone, and I remembered his first name, and we didn't give each other's card, and I was like, oh crap, I don't remember the company name. Like, who was this guy? So I did actually go online and, you know, was able to find his picture and be like, okay, that's who he was.
Yeah.
It works. It works.
And I'll touch on what you were saying too, just for myself, you know, and kind of I think, you know, how it's impacted our business. It's been tremendous from not only a relationship standpoint, but from exactly what Jude's saying. If somebody calls me and says, "Do you know someone does digital marketing?" Yes, I do. Like, and it's an honest yes, I do, and it makes me look good. And that's something that it's not necessarily that what you think of when you join a chamber or what you will get when you join the chamber, but those relationships and that other knowledge is huge for
absolutely.
Success, you know?
I mean, and we preach here about the importance of relationships, right? And how important they are. And for us, relationships are important because not everything is perfect. But if we have the right amount of trust, we're giving the right amount of value, and we have the right amount of relationships, we have an opportunity to help the client overcome whatever obstacles are there. So it's just like, you know, it's like you're saying, like, you feel good. Yep. You can say, yes, this person, because not just because you know them by name or you know their company by name, but you've spent time with them. Yep. Like, you understand that, hey, they're a real human being. They care about the people that they work with. I feel good sending you their direction.
Exactly.
And that's what we think about, you know, when we think about what a true chamber is supposed to be doing. Now, I know for a lot of people, and there's certain roles, like even my role, like people will be like, well, what do you do every day, all day? And half the time I can't even tell you. But tell me a little bit about the day-to-day life of a chamber. Like the lights come on, people start to come in to do their job. Like, what does the day-to-day look like at the chamber?
So the chamber, right now we're about a staff of 4, so we're pretty busy at what we do, and we take turns helping each other within our departments. We have our usual roles and responsibility to keep the chamber going, report to the board, be there as a liaison to all the committees that we have. And then our role is to be there to answer the phone, have support for our members, create the events, work with our volunteers. So we need to be there for our members. That's basically what our day-to-day role is. Keep our website running. We have someone who's in our marketing department, and she's there getting the e-blasts out. The communication is so important to our members. Anything I'm not thinking about?
Yeah, I think so. I think from a day-to-day perspective, it's a very active chamber. I think we've been active. So I've been part of it since 2018. The chamber's been around for 65 years, so there's a lot of knowledge with some of the members. And there's been people that have been a part of the chamber for 65 years. So I'm on the newer end, but there's been people, you know, throughout that time. The committees meet, and what they do is they plan the different events. So the keynote committee will look to sit down and they'll say, okay, these are the 12 months. We're going to have one a month. It's a breakfast meeting. The date, the time, all that's pretty set. But who are we going to have in? What's the content? What's our membership really looking for? What's going to resonate? And the culture that we stand by, speak for, is inclusivity. And so we want everybody to feel welcome. So that's where the young professionals come in for me, which when I started, you know, Kim Solis was the chair of that committee, and she had a saying that was, you know, the chamber's like a gym membership. If you sign up and at the end of the year you don't go, don't expect results. The more you put in is the more you get out. And so I just joined. Well, I should rewind a bit, right? So go ahead.
Right. So when I started the chamber
this is really Jude's job. this is what Jude's job is right here.
So in 2018, when I first started the chamber, I was familiar with the area, but I needed to build relationships on this side of the bridge because I live in New Jersey and have worked in New Jersey. So I was going through the shopping center where Starbucks and Wendy's is. What was the name of that shopping center? Or doesn't really, whatever. But anyway, so I was knocking on doors, and it was, we're not going to give credit to the former mortgage company that he worked for. So I was knocking on the door. I met him. I told him, I said, hey, I'm new to my role. I want to invite you to come to a networking event at the chamber. Come and meet us. Took our information. Fast forward, I kept emailing him, and he was telling me that his wife was going to open a AAA agency. And then I didn't hear from him for a while. And then I was at someone else's networking event with a women's group, and I met this woman named Nicole Meyers. And then I stood up. I said, my name's Jude. She goes, my husband told you about you. We're going to join your chamber. Hence, here we are. And
yeah, so I joined, and I it was one of those things where pre-college or during college, I had a huge network and then lost it, and got a job and started a company now. And, it's like, okay, I need a network of people now. Where do I go? So I remember Jude, and she was just passionate about, check this out. Come just try it. Right. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I think I went to a young professionals meeting. And I think the first thing I did was the Sports Entertainment Committee, and I emailed it was Brian Zavodnik, he's still part of the chamber, and I emailed him, Mr. Zavodnik. I was so nervous, I didn't know what to do. And so now, being inside of it, I love spreading the message that that's not what it is. It's like, hey, Rick, hey, CJ, hey, Jude, let's talk about something. Let's plan an event that's going to help, the community, our businesses, our target market, everything. And so it's just been an amazing thing. And so throughout, not only has our business have had awareness and things like that, but from a professional standpoint, I remember the November 2019, the event that you had here. How was it called?
The One Conference.
Yes,
the One Conference. Sorry, I didn't want to say it wrong. I knew the One Conference. And so Data was here, and Google was here, and the content, the rich content that you guys provided with the chamber, I was like, man, where do you get this? This is college, but what I want to be learning in the business world, Right. And it was just, to me, when I learned that, and then the different connections in people, and now it was like, hey, you're being really active on this committee. How about leading the committee with your wife? And I was like, sure. What does that mean? And then it was like, how about being on the board? And I'm like, what is the board? To your point, we were talking a little earlier, and I'm like, what does it being on a board mean? I have no idea. And you learn, and it was, but I didn't know that there was really a place to learn. And so our job, and being the incoming chair, and Jude, running the membership program for our chamber, it's just getting the people to understand, give it a try, come check it out,
But I feel like we kind of turned it into the Jude show a little bit because
no, we didn't want to do that. No.
Because you are really good at your job. So she got me too. And one thing that I think the chamber and you in particular are really good at is saying, hey, you really should be a part of this. You should check this out. Hey, I think that you would really benefit from that. And we've gotten speakers for the podcast from your keynotes, and vice versa. So it's definitely a community. I want to go off topic for just a minute, so don't kill me. And there's no wrong answers here. I just want to get a little bit of an input, because this year for One SEO in particular, 2023 is all about us investing in our team members, right, in their education and kind of pushing them forward. Yeah. Because one of the things that we know, and it's no secret, media makes sure that we know it, is there is a big disconnect between old leadership and the new people who are going to take over and be the leadership. And I am a firm believer that you can't know where you're going until you know where you've been, right? Sure. So I love hearing that you have, classes and different things like that for people to come in and take in order to get them prepared, right? It doesn't mean we have to do everything the same way that we've always done it, but it's super important that we understand what we've done and why we did it in order to make more educated decisions. So can you talk a little bit more about kind of your opinion and what you're hearing from younger individuals that are coming in and wanting to be a part of that?
So basically, we have a lot of great mentors. There are some seasoned professionals, board members that have been on so many different committees that are there to take you under their wing. So that's kind of what we do for the young professionals. And with Women in Business Committee, Women in Leadership, we're there to embrace the newer members, the young professionals, and like I had mentioned, women coming back into the workplace again and getting re-educated. We're there, the chamber as an entity, when I say we, all of the chamber members and the powers that be, we're there to embrace you and help you and make those introductions, and we're full of resources. We refer a lot of new businesses to SCORE. We'll send them to PA Career Link. There is so many grants and sometimes I call them like scholarships to retrain people, to help educate them. The chamber has so many resources to help support not only the business owners, but the business owners' employees. And that's how we all come together as a community, because we're making those connections to people and also connecting all of the communities together.
Well, I mean, we may go ahead. Greg.
No, I was going to say. So I can give you a specific example. So the keynote, it's the fourth Thursday.
You mean the committee, or are you talking about
meeting?
No, the keynote breakfast itself, second Thursday.
Second Thursday. Yeah, that's right. It's second Thursday. So the second Thursday of every month is the keynote meeting, and there was feedback. It started at 7:30, so the networking piece was 7:30 to 8, and then 8 to 9 would be the program. In the thought that in the past, the way we've done it, you hear that statement sometimes, but we're phasing that out. But the way we've done it is, okay, we did it early, and people like that. Now, with 2 parents working, maybe single parents, I was part of that, at one point. COVID with the kids at home, so we said, okay, what's the feedback? So we pushed it back. So now it's from 8:30 to 9 is the networking piece, and 9 to 10 is the program, and that's been really positive. The last keynote we just had in January, I think we saw an increase in numbers for that, so that was amazing. And then the other piece is we offer a lot of hybrid. For a lot of the committee meetings, which is not. It was an adaptation through what we had to get through with the pandemic.
Absolutely.
But, it was proof that as a chamber we led the adaptability mindset for our local businesses, and we're a real resource in that, kind of somewhere to look and say, okay, I don't have to panic, I can go here.
No, I love it, because that's one of the, and that was a great example, right? Is you made a change based on feedback that was provided and understanding why it was done a different way at one point in time, and that's what helps, because it is a different environment, right? You do have 2 working, members of family now, more so than ever before. You have a lot more single parents. They don't have as much flexibility. Then COVID created its whole new set of issues that probably won't go away for a really long time in terms of that. So that adaptability is important. And I want, for the young professionals who are watching this is your opportunity to really get a greater understanding from people who have paved the way to get you to where you are now. So if you're not involved with local chambers, find out from your business owner if they are, and see how you can get involved, because it's huge for you to be able to create a new future, for you to be able to come up with new ideas and be the visionary for companies moving forward. You need to understand where we came from and how we got to where we are. So I'm really happy to hear that. And we might have done the final roar just in that, but that's okay. Yeah. So let's leave everybody with kind of your elevator pitch. So for our local audience members that are watching that would like to be involved, tell us a little bit about your elevator pitch for joining the local chamber.
You want me to do it, or you want to do it?
I'll do my little piece, and I'll let you end. How about that? Okay. I would say, from someone who's lived and experienced it, I would say just give it a try. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You can come to an event, you can be a guest, try it out. You'll meet some introductions. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, also great. But I think that the value in itself will be there if you show up. And that's my two cents on the pitch. But yeah, go ahead, Jude.
And again, it's all about relationship building. The Chamber's here to connect you to your community and your business community. And please be our guest. Call the Chamber office, ask for Jude or any one of the office staff. We'll be more than happy to have you as a guest to one of our keynote breakfasts or business card exchange.
All right, that sounds good. And I think we have a keynote breakfast coming back here to our location at some point too. So for any of our clients or people watching, you're more than welcome to come and attend on our dime. So we would love to have you here. Thank you both so much for joining us in the den. Sorry that I went off topic, but so important.
That wasn't off topic. That was totally on topic. It was all good.
Well, thank you guys, and we will see you next time here in the den.